Hi everyone, welcome back to the cocktail vlog. I'm Steve the bartender and today I'm making a Manhattan. For those who've been following the channel for quite some time may have noticed I've done it once before, but there's three reasons I want to do it again. One, because that video was back in 2017. It was a pretty woeful video. It's barely seen the light of day, so not many people have seen it. Two, I picked up a bottle of Whistle Pig 10-year rye and it is super tasty. I've only had the tiniest little splash out of it. It's really quite peppery, spicy, and I felt like making a Manhattan. And I was like, now's the date I'm gonna remake that video. And the third reason is because I've got these delicious brandied cherries. Yes, delicious. I made these brandied cherries. I desperately had to go to a cherry farm. I dragged my wife there. I dragged my family there, bought this humongous box of cherries, made brandy cherries, and they've been sitting in my fridge for like 3 years, taking up an entire shelf. I've had a few of them. Every time I have them, I remember how good they actually are. But they're probably getting on their limits now. They're reaching 3 years old. They're still really good. But I probably should eat them. But there's quite a few kilos. So I've got to get started. I've got to make a lot of Manhattans. So let's get started on this one, but a little bit of backstory about the cocktail first. So the Manhattan was first referenced in 1882 and was simply described as a mixture of whiskey, vermouth, and bitters. So Canadian whiskey was predominantly used during Prohibition, but it's now more commonly made with either a rye or a bourbon. Rye is usually probably more of a bartender's choice or a geeky cocktail aficionado's choice, but bourbon's just as common really, as far as I know. Just make sure you get something a little bit of a higher proof, so 100 proof or 50% ABV, such as the Whistle Pig Rye, or Rittenhouse works really well as well. The ratios have stood the test of time. Like this is kind of like I'm just doing a sort of classic ratio of 2 to 1. Some people do prefer to do equal measures. That's completely up to you. You can switch it up, you can experiment. You can make it a little bit more lower ABV by increasing the vermouth and dropping the whiskey. And as far as the bitters go, today I'm making more of a classic Manhattan and just going a couple of dashes of Angostura aromatic bitters. But if you like, you can do a combination of Angostura and orange bitters, completely up to you. Or you could go wild and experiment with it, chocolate bitters, cardamom bitters, or just something that will complement whatever whiskey that you decide to choose. Onto the drink. So 60 ml, 2 ounces, 2 parts of your chosen whiskey, Canadian, rye, bourbon, completely up to you. 30 ml, 1 ounce, 1 part of sweet vermouth. Again, choice is up to you. I'm using a Carpano Antica formula, sweet vanilla notes to it. And then 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Should I go orange bitters? Yeah, I'll go orange. Just a couple of drops of orange bitters. Fill the mixing glass with ice. And give it a stir. I actually had a fourth reason I wanted to mix Manhattan, because I haven't done a lot of stir downs. Haven't done a lot of stir drinks recently. They've all been shaken cocktails and it was time to get the mixing glass out. Strain that into a chilled coupe glass. So originally the Manhattan was served with a lemon twist, and it wasn't for another 10 years or so that they changed it to a brandied cherry. So it's pretty common to be served with both, one or the other. It's completely up to you. Lemon twist, brandied cherry, both. I'm going to do both today. I'm just going to kind of skewer the brandied cherry, or in my case, drop it straight in. They have a Manhattan with rye whiskey. Cheers. That is a beautiful cocktail and it really highlights the spicy rye that I'm using. I absolutely love this. and it's highlighting this particular whiskey. I wouldn't be opposed to increasing the sweet vermouth. I'm a bit of a sweet tooth. If I wasn't using such a nice rye, then maybe I'd increase the sweet vermouth. But this is a delicious drink. And if you want to check out a alternative, the Rob Roy, so Scotch-based variant, or the Black Manhattan, which was one of my favorites with Amaro Averna. And I'll link up here and in the description. Make sure you give the video a like. Cheers.